am Rhea Grace Bibernal and welcome to my video presentation on trigonometric identities. Today we will exploring 6 examples of sum and difference identities formulas and how to use them in that particular problem. So let's start with the sine function. Example 1. Sum identity using the sine function. So if you want to find the value of sine 90 degrees, you need to ask yourself, what two angles that are very common that adds to 90 degree? The two angles that are very common on the unit circle will be 30 and 60 degree. So 30 plus 60 is equals to 90. So our A is 30 and B is 60. So this is the equation. Sine A plus B is equals sine A, cosine B plus cosine A, and sine B. So this going to be equal to sine 30 plus 60 is equal to sine 30, cosine 60 plus cosine 30 and sine 60. Based on the unit circle, sine 30 is equals to 1/2 and cosine is equals to 1/2 plus cosine 30 is equals to square root of 3 over 2. Sine 60 is equals to square root of 3 over 2. So 1 times 1 is equals to 1. 2 times 2 is equals to 4. Radical 3 times radical 3 is equals to 3. And 2 times 2 is equals to 4. 1/4 plus 3/4 is equals to 1. Therefore, sine 90 degrees is equals to 1. Now, let's move on to our next example. Difference identity using sine function. Let's see if we want to evaluate sine 30. Sine 30 is the same as sine 60 minus 30. So this is our equation. Sine A minus B is equals to sine A cosine B minus cosine A sine B. So this is going to be equal sine 60 minus 30 equals sine 60 cosine 30 minus cosine 60 sine 30. Based on the unit circle, sine 60 is equals to square root of 3 over 2, cosine 30 is equals to square root of 3 over 2, minus cosine 60 is equals to 1/2, sine 30 is equals to 1/2. Radical 3 times radical 3 is equals to 3. 2 times 2 is equals to 4. Minus 1 times 1 is equals to 1. 2 times 2 is equals to 4. 3/4 minus 1/4 is equals to 1/2. Now, let's move on to our next example, sum identity using cosine function. Let's see if we want to evaluate cosine 90 degrees. So, cosine 90 is the same as cosine 30 plus 60. So, this is our equation. Cosine A plus B is equals to cosine A cosine B minus sine A sine B. So, this is going to be equal cosine 30 plus 60 is equals to cosine 30 cosine 60 minus sine 30 sine 60. Based on the unit circle, cosine 30 is equals to square root of 3 over 2, cosine 60 is equals to 1/2, minus sine 30 is equals to 1/2, and sine 60 is equals to square root of 3 over 2. Square root of 3 times 1 is equals to 3. 2 times 2 is equals to 4. Minus 1 times square root of 3 is equals to 3. 2 times 2 is equals to 4. Square root of 3 over 4 minus square root of 3 over 4 is equal to 0. Now, let's move on to our next example, difference identity using cosine function. Let's say if we want to evaluate cosine 30. Cosine 30 is the same as cosine 60 minus 30. So, this is our equation. Cosine A minus B is equals to cosine A cosine B plus sine A sine B. So, this is going to be equal cosine 60 minus 30 is equals to cosine 60 cosine 30 plus sine 60 sine 30. Based on the unit circle, cosine 60 is equals to 1/2, cosine 30 is equals to square root of 3 over 2 plus sine 60 is equals to square root of 3 over 2, sine 30 is equals to 1/2. So 1 times square root of 3 is equals to 3, 2 times 2 is equals to 4, plus square root of 3 times 1 is equals to 3. 2 times 2 is equals to 4. So square root of 3 over 4 plus square root of 3 over 4 is equals to square root of 3 over 2. Now, let's move on to our next example. Sum identity using tangent function. Let's say if we want to evaluate tangent 75 degree, 75 degrees the same tangent 30 plus 45. So the equation is tan A plus B is equals to tan A plus tan B divided by 1 minus tan A tan B. So this is going to be equal tan 30 plus 45 degree is equals to tan 30 plus tan 45 divided by 1 minus tan 30 tan 45. Tan 30 is equals to 1 over square root of 3 plus tan 45 is equals to 1. 1 minus tan 30 is equals to 1 over square root of 3. Tan 45 is equals to 1. 1 square root of over square root of 3 is equals to square root of 3 plus 1. Divide 1 minus 1 square root of 3 is equals to square root of 3 minus 1. So, square root of 3 plus 1 divide square root of 3 minus 1 multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. So, this is going to square root of 3 plus 1 squared. Divide square root of 3 squared minus 1 squared is equals to square root of 3 plus 1 squared divide 3 minus 1. So this is going to be equal to square root of 3 plus 1 squared all divided by 2. Now, let's move on to our next example. Difference identity using tangent function. Let's say if we want to evaluate tangent 15 degree is the same as tangent 45 minus 35 degree. So the equation is tangent A minus B is equals tangent A tangent B divided by 1 plus tangent A tangent B. So this is going to be equal tangent 45 minus 30 is equals to tangent 45 tangent 30 divided by 1 plus tangent 45 tangent 30. Tangent 45 is equals to 1 minus tangent 30 is equals to 1 square root of 3. Divide 1 plus tangent 45 equals to 1. Tangent 30 is equals to 1 square divide square root of 3. 1 times square root of 3 is equals to square root of 3 minus 1 times 1 minus 1 divide 1 plus 1 minus 1 times square root of 3 is equals to square root of 3 plus 1 times 1 is equals to 1. Multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. So this is going to be square root of 3 minus 1 squared divide square root of 3 squared minus 1 squared is equals to square root of 3 minus 1 squared all divided by 2.